Do you think, just generally speaking, do you think that we should have beliefs, any belief, not just with tarot, any beliefs, that can't be shown to be incorrect, if they're incorrect? I'm not saying it's incorrect, but do you think it's useful to have a belief that can't be shown to be incorrect? Because if we have a belief that can't be shown to be incorrect, then how do we really know that it's true?
Through experience and what you perceive.
What if I believe that I start a practice where I'm using Mentos, somehow I'm using Mentos to guide people?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it works. I find that when I use Mentos and I arrange them nicely on the table, that people benefit from Mentos.
Right.
And so I guess we're saying is that Mentos works. Mentos is a real tool.
Yeah.
It works. It helps guide people.
Yeah.
And it's every bit as true as tarot. You could use tarot and I could use Mentos, and we could help people, and it doesn't matter. They're all the same. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if the Mentos is actually helping you, and you're going through that experience, that it's helping people.
That helps me.
Yeah.
So there's nothing special about the tarot. There's nothing. The cards don't really mean anything. It's just the guidance that you're offering.
Is there anything special about tarot? Well, I would say yes. You know, it's all about. It's all about, I guess, the person and what they believe. And I strictly believe the tool is real, and it works through experience. So, but I'm open.
And if I'd had the same experience with Mentos, then my
I'm open
belief
to
is true about Mentos. Okay.
Through experience.
Through my experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. And so I'm wondering I'm saying if someone asked me, Mark, why do you use Mentos to help people instead of tarot or instead of marbles or instead of something? Why do you use Mentos? And I'm trying to think. If they ask me, Mark, what is it about the Mentos? And I'll say, and I guess I would say it's nothing about the Mentos. It's just me, and I'm helping those people. And then they're saying, well, why use the Mentos? Why just use you? And I'm trying to think then what I would answer at that point. You know, like if someone asked me, why do you use Mentos?
Right.
You could use, seems like you can use tarot or a bunch of other things. And
You can, actually.
Yeah, and I don't know what could I say? What should I tell them? I guess what I'm saying.
I think you should tell them, because my belief is the connection I have to Mentos, or, you know, the way Mentos look, or the type of images I can see on the Mentos, really helps me provide messages to clients.
So it's my connection to the Mentos.
Correct.
Well, let's suppose it wasn't the Mentos. Let's suppose it was something else that I'm not aware of. Is there a way I could find that out?
By not using the Mentos. That's...
Okay, but not using the Mentos.
Yeah, by not using the Mentos.
And if I didn't use the Mentos, and I found that I'm still able to provide guidance, then I guess it wasn't the Mentos?
It doesn't mean it wasn't a Mentos. It just means that the Mentos was a tool, and it was you all along. Or, you know, so the Mentos is just a tool.
How can I find out if this tool works? If it's something about the Mentos? Is there any way? If it's not, then why am I using the Mentos?
By using it. That's the only way to find out. By using it or not using it.
It seems like, though, by whether I use it or not use it, has it doesn't help us know whether it works or doesn't work.
I think I see where you're getting at. It's all because you have to have a connection with it, and you have to feel that it works. Does it feel like it's working? Do you perceive that it's working?
Okay. Is it just with this kind of thing that feeling, that's how we know how it works? Like, is it or other? Is that how most things work, in the sense that like if I feel like there's an odd number of Mentos in here, does that make it? I can make it odd that way. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a tangible thing. So if we're talking about strictly experience,
What's the difference between
different.
tangible things and non-tangible things?
Non-tangible things, you have an option to create. We're always creating every second,
So if
every
it's
minute.
not tangible,
Right.
then I can believe it to be true, and it's true.
Correct.
Is it possible for something not to be tangible and me believe it's true and not be true? Is that possible, or is that not possible?
That's not possible. Not to me. No.
Okay.
So if I go into an interview
Yeah.
and I tell myself, I'm going to get this interview, I'm going to get I'm going to get the job, I'm going to get
Yeah.
More than likely I'm going to get the job, because I am setting that intention. I am manifesting that. I'm creating that.
And I think you have some beliefs surrounding that. And I guess where I'm coming from is that I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you went in an interview and had set all those intentions, and for whatever reason you didn't get that job,
Right.
your belief wouldn't change. You still have the same belief.
Well, if I didn't get the job, if I went into,
You set the intention.
Yeah, I set the intention. I went to the job that
Yeah.
I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it.
And if you didn't get
If I didn't get it,
I wouldn't. I'm thinking, I'm going to go on a limb and say it wouldn't change how you see the world too much.
it would just mean that the job wasn't for me.
Right. So I think I find it amazing to me, almost, when people have beliefs and they believe them so strongly that nothing could come along and change those beliefs. That I'm thinking, if I had a belief and it was incorrect, I would never know it. It'd be impossible for me to know that I had an incorrect belief.
Well, the only way to deem it to be incorrect is by your own consciousness. Why isn't it? What changed in your mind, or what experience did you have now that makes you not believe it anymore? It's all up to the person. It's all up to you and how you perceive things. So if I believe that McDonald's...
But can our perceptions be wrong?
No.
Our perceptions can't be wrong?
Your perceptions can't be wrong, because that's your perception. That's, how you see things. That's your consciousness. We all have different ways we see things. Does that mean I'm wrong? If I am Buddhist, right, and I look at Christianity like, oh, no, your religion is wrong, mine is correct. I perceive mine is correct more than yours because of my beliefs, because of how I grew up, because of the information I was told, because of my community, my society, and what I truly believe in my heart and my soul. Now, let's say 10 years from there, right, I start experiencing different things. I open up my mind, and now I believe that, no, I don't want to be Buddhist, or now I believe Christianity more. That's my experience. That's what I'm willing to accept. That's what I'm embracing. But it's strictly my perception, my experience.
I'm wondering how that makes it real. Like, if I experience either these meant us being or even or odd,
Yeah.
it doesn't change the number in the box. I'm thinking.
No, it doesn't, because that's tangible.
Right.
Right.
So anything that's not tangible, how do we know things that are not tangible or even real?
That's a good question. How do we know that? That's a great question. How do we know things that are not tangible is real? Was that the question, or that
Yeah,
are
you're
tangible?
saying that things that are not tangible, you're accepting is that they're real. How do we even know they're real?
Things that are not tangible.
How do we know that they're even real? You know?
Yeah. It's how would you know something is not real if it's not tangible?
Yeah. If I
It's-
let's say if I believe, although I think I might know what you're going to say here, but if I believe that purple dragons are real,
Yeah.
I think you're going to tell me that purple dragons are real if I believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything is real if I believe it.
Correct.
Okay.
And if that changes, then that just means
So anything I want to believe is true is true.
in your reality. Yeah.
So in my reality, anything I believe is true is true. Mm-hmm. And if I believe the sun doesn't exist, the sun doesn't exist. That's my reality. And when I think of, I guess where I'm confused is when I think of reality,
Yeah.
maybe this is it. I think of reality as something that people share, that people can't have their own reality just because I want to have a reality. Maybe that's where I'm confused. And you know what I mean? That in my mind, if I believe that purple dragons exist, I guess the way I'm seeing the world is that either purple dragons exist or they don't exist, and me believing in them, what difference does it make about my belief in them? Because if they don't exist, they don't exist.
Right. I would say that's fair. Yeah. So we might share the same we might share Earth, right? We might share
Right.
being here.
Yeah.
But we don't share the same reality. No. We all have different realities. Because reality is based off of what you think, what you perceive, what you deem to be right, what you deem to be correct, not correct, and why that is. You know?
But that only happens with beliefs that are not tangible.
Correct. Just like
Okay.
religion is a great example of that.
Right.
We're all here on Earth.
Yeah.
Right? This is, if you deem it to be one reality, then why are we not sharing one religion? Right? It's because we all perceive one religion to be, I guess, more correct over another.
What if all the religions are wrong?
Then that would be your perception that they're all wrong. Who
There's no way to know that.
exactly?
So with things that are not tangible, there's no way to know that you're right or wrong. It's just what you believe.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Who am I to say what you believe is wrong or right? And who are you, vice versa, who are you to say what I believe is wrong or right?
Yeah.
Because, and I think that's the beauty about beliefs.
Could that get us into trouble, do you think, somehow? Because if I believe, that I'm wondering if I have all these beliefs that weren't, like, somehow rooted in a tangible reality. You know what I mean? And these are all just beliefs I have.
Yeah.
I believe that purple dragons exist. I believe that, I can fly. I believe a whole bunch of things. I'm wondering if that could get me into trouble. For example, if I believe I can fly, and I think you tell me that's fine that I believe in that.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if that could get me into trouble if I get up on this roof and jump off this roof and believing that I could fly, that somehow the intangible things that I believe might, come in contact with the tangible things I believe. You know?
Yeah, but if you get on the roof and you believe you can fly and find out you can't, is that going to change your belief? Would you still think you can fly?
I think it would. I think it would change my belief that I believe I could fly and found out that I couldn't fly.
See, but you had to experience it to change your belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about the experience. Because if you haven't experienced it, you would still believe you can fly.
Yeah. And maybe just make this example further. Whether I believe I can fly or not, does that have anything to do the reality of whether I can fly or not? I'm thinking there's a reality there. It doesn't matter what I believe about it. Either I can fly or not, and whether I believe it I can or not before I try is not going to make much of a difference.
Will it make a difference? Because it's either a yes or a no. Is that what you're getting at? So,
well, you're saying that I can believe I can fly, and that belief is true, but I'm thinking there's probably a reality there whether I can fly or not. A tangible reality that maybe in some situations may supersede what my belief is.
Well, if it does supersede your belief, then it would be based off of your experience. So you experience that you can't fly. Okay.
But whether I experienced the fact that I can or can't fly, do you think that would change whether I can or can't fly?
That's a hard one. I would say yes. Let's say if you're a bird.
No, me.
You.
Mark.
That's a good question. So would it change the fact that you could or you can't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Because you experienced it and then you seen that you couldn't fly. So it would change it from I believe I could fly to, oh, I experienced it and now I can't fly.
So it seems like I had a false belief.
It's not false.
Well, I believed,
it's what you believed in that present moment.
I could fly, but it turns out that I couldn't.
Yeah, that doesn't mean your belief was false. In that
sounds like it was. I can't fly.
It doesn't believe that your belief was false. It just means that in that present moment, in your consciousness, in that moment, you believe that you could. And it wasn't until you had an experience that changed your perception to make you believe that you can't.
Yeah, just not following you. I have a belief that I could fly. And you're telling me that belief is true because I believe it's true.
Correct.
But it sounds like when we did a test, and that test was me getting on this roof and flying, that the test showed that I was wrong. I can't fly. And so it sounded like I had a false belief. You're telling me I had a true belief because by the mere fact that I just believed it.
Right.
But it sounded like it wasn't true because I did a test and I jumped off and something happened.
So a belief to me, is based off of what you perceive to be true. So in that moment, what are you perceiving to be true? So
I guess what I'm saying is that what I perceived to be true
was that you can fly.
And that was incorrect. I can't fly.
Right. But you had to experience that to change your belief. So back to religion. If I believe...
But right. I had an experience or a test. to change my belief because it sounded like it needed to be changed from a. You're telling me I changed my belief from a true belief to another true belief.
Based on your reality.
I was changing my belief from a true belief, I can fly, to another true belief, I can't fly.
Yeah, based on what you believe is
so
correct.
I had opposite beliefs that were true.
Yes, that's the world that we live in. Because it's all based upon what you feel, what you're connected to, what what you experience. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of. So.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think I do. And I'm just, I'm wondering, that's an interesting world. I see where you're coming from, and it's an interesting way you see the world. And thank you for allowing me on this journey. I find it fascinating that whatever, I'm trying to see it from a perspective, whatever I believe is true, and I could never be wrong about anything because it's always true. It's always what I've experienced. And I guess it'd be hard for me to learn from my mistakes.
Why would you say that?
Well, there are no mistakes, really. How could we have a mistake? Because couldn't a mistake be an untrue belief? But there couldn't be an untrue belief. How could we make mistakes?
But mistakes are experiences. That's what they are. Is it a mistake, or is it an experience that changed your reality, which changed your perception, which changes your belief?
But could I have had a mistake in the sense of having an untrue belief? Doesn't sound like it. I couldn't be mistaken about a belief.
Right, because it's all about what you perceive.
So I couldn't be mistaken. Ever.
Yeah.